What's up, guys? It's Davey, and today I am super excited to be reviewing the Batman Forever wave from McFarlane Toys. I'm a big fan of Batman Forever. It was my favorite Batman movie as a kid. Of course, it's corny, it's cheesy, it's over the top. Some of the performances are a bit wacky, but when you're a kid growing up, it's so cool. It looks like toys brought to life. So having these toys here today is so cool, and I am super excited to open them up. And first up, we have none other than Val Kilmer's Batman. Here's a look at it inside the package. Nothing too fancy, just as Batman. There's no Batman Forever logo on any of these, which I think is interesting because the logo is so cool. Of course, it comes with the head of the Build-A-Figure Bat. Now, this isn't the first time that we've gotten the Val Kilmer Batman. This is actually the second time because we got him in the Batman 6-pack, which I also reviewed on the channel. And while it's the same body mold, there are some key differences, and we'll be talking about that. And here's a quick look at the back. Nothing fancy at all, just shows a picture of the Nightmare Bat. Now let's open it up. And here we go. We have Val Kilmer's Batman out of the box. Just a look at the figure right here. Again, the second time we got this figure. I will actually be comparing it to the one that we got in the Batman 6-pack in just a moment. But he's standing tall there. Of course, he comes with the McFarlane base. As always, he's got a cloth cape here. Not posable. Not a wired cape, which is a bit of a letdown because, as you'll see in a moment, the Robin figure does come with a wired cape. So I am not sure why they didn't do it in this one. It's a bit disappointing, honestly. And this figure, I'll say it's a little bit underwhelming. If you didn't get the Batman 6-pack, of course it's exciting to get this figure in hand, but they made some changes that I don't really like. The sculpting, I will say, is incredible. The head sculpt, in particular, I think it looks really good. I think that looks like Val Kilmer. Very happy with that. And the suit, of course, this is the Sonar suit, which I believe is just the suit that he wore at the end of the movie, not the one that he wore throughout the entire movie. You know that because it's missing the bat nipples. People often like to make fun of Clooney for the bat nipples. It actually started with Kilmer. But the sculpting on the suit is great. Now, what I'm not crazy about is the color. Now, this was a complaint that I had in the 6-pack too. As you can see, it is a metallic blue color that the suit is actually molded in. And I don't think that's very accurate. As I said in the other review, there's one poster for Batman Forever where with the lighting it looks like this, but in the movie it is pretty much black. So I wish that they had painted this figure black or molded it in black. The interesting thing is that they did change some parts. As you'll see, the cowl, the gloves, and the boots have been painted in a matte black. I don't really understand. I suppose they want it to be a little bit different from the 6-pack figure, but I don't know. It's not very accurate. I wish they had just gone all the way and the entire thing was matte black. They also painted the belt more, which is interesting. So I will show you a comparison right now. This is the 6-pack figure. It is all metallic blue throughout. You can also see a big difference, again, painted differently. This is a much lighter color on the new belt than it is on this one. That's kind of a darker gunmetal gray. That's a lot more silver. I suppose I prefer this one more just because the color is more consistent throughout. But I love the look of the matte black on the cowl and the gloves. I just wish the whole suit was painted that way. I don't really go into posability that much with the figures and articulation, but I have no complaints really. There's quite a bit of articulation. The only problem is when you lean this back, it does show quite a bit of a gap right there. So that would be my only complaint, but overall, really happy with the articulation. Of course, it is the same as the other Kilmer figure. As far as accessories go, we have this set of bat weaponry. We have a grapnel hook. We have 2 batarangs here, and they're very accurate to what was in the movie, so those are very cool. And while he comes with fisty hands on the figure, they did include an extra set of hands, and these are grippy hands so that it can hold on to his weapons. Of course, here is the bat head for the Build-A-Figure. Very scary looking. We'll take a look at that figure once we have all the pieces open. It also comes with this nice base for the bat to make it look like it's flying. I do have one complaint. Mine came with a pretty big scratch on it, which is unfortunate, but not a big deal. And of course, we have the card that comes along with it. And here we have the Robin figure played by Chris O'Donnell. This is the second Chris O'Donnell Robin that we've gotten, because we got one with the Batman and Robin wave. So the body buck is the exact same, but of course the colors are different. This one is in more of the classic Robin colors, and already I can tell you I like this one a lot more. I also want to correct myself. I said there's no Batman Forever logo on the boxes. There is right there. They feature it right on the side, so glad that they included that. And again, just a boring picture of the Build-A-Bat on the back. So let's open it up. And here is Robin out of the box, and already this is such a cool figure. And I do stand corrected once again. This isn't exactly the same body as the Batman and Robin version. This is a bit different, and of course the colors are different, and I love the colors. Now I was looking at some pictures of the actual Batman Forever suit, and I believe in the movie the colors were definitely a bit darker, especially this green color, but it looks great. I like this a lot more than the Batman Forever version, which looks a bit more like Nightwing. I just love the classic bright colors of the suit, and of course it comes with this beautiful wired cape. It's a bit of a thicker material, but I really like it. It's got yellow on the inside, black on the outside. Very posable. You even have a collar there, which is pretty cool. The face sculpt is, again, pretty solid. We'll compare it to the face sculpt with the other one, which is actually a little bit different, especially the mask. Now, I don't know if you can notice, but he favors his leg. I don't know if this is just with my figure. Maybe it just needs to be warmed up a bit. I had a hard time moving this leg, especially moving them together, so he's kind of got a wide stance there. Looks like he was riding a bat horse a little bit. It's still cool. It's not a big deal. I've got it standing on the stand, and he's there pretty solid. And for accessories, Robin comes with 2 sets of hands. He doesn't come with any weapons, but 2 sets of hands. These kind of remind me of the Riddler's hands, the classic Riddler's hands. He's got the open hand and the pointer finger that McFarlane is including with so many figures. And then of course he has some grippy hands just to hold on to Batman's weapons because he doesn't have his own. We have his collectible card, nice picture of Chris O'Donnell there, and his bio on the back. And then as far as the Build-A-Figure goes, we get one wing, the right wing. And here we have him next to the Batman and Robin version. These are pretty different. I'm actually surprised at just how different these sculpts are. I believe the legs are perhaps the only piece that are exactly the same. Other than that, it's all pretty different. Interesting note, he's got the same leaning problem. So I don't know, maybe that's across the board. Maybe there's something wrong with the way that the legs are molded. So let me know in the comments if you are having the same problem with your Robin figures. It'll be interesting to hear that. Now the torso might be the same, but obviously there's much more sculpt on this one. It's even included on the arms. The gloves are different. The belt is different. I even believe that the crotch piece is different because we got some sculpting here, some lines there. Also, of course, this one has a rubber cape, which this cloth cape, wired cloth cape, is just really a huge upgrade. I know some people like the rubber capes, but I like these a lot more. I'm happy that McFarlane is doing these. Now, there is one thing that I really prefer about this figure, and that would be the head sculpt. This one, to me at least, looks much more like Chris O'Donnell. It's actually pretty different. I think it's interesting that they didn't just decide to just change the mask on this figure. They actually did a whole new head sculpt, which is pretty interesting. I do prefer this one more. Even though this mask is more accurate to Batman Forever, I might swap the heads actually, just so that I really build the best Chris O'Donnell Robin figure. And here we have Jim Carrey's Riddler. So excited to open this one up. This and Two-Face are the ones that I really wanted for this wave. This looks so cool. I'm super excited to open it up. Again, box is pretty much the same. Won't go into too much detail. Let's open them up. And here we go, Jim Carrey out of the box in plastic form. This figure is awesome. A couple of complaints, but overall, I really like it. I especially like the color of the green, just how bright it is. I think it looks really great and will really, especially go well with the colors of Two-Face. You know, I think that's one of the coolest parts of the movie is just all of the bright colors, the neon colors. I really like that. That actually inspired a lot of my art style. But yeah, I like this. I'm excited. The face sculpt is incredible. Some people said it's a little too cartoony. It doesn't look like Jim Carrey. I think that's Jim Carrey. I think that looks pretty good. I'm happy with that sculpt, that expression. Jim Carrey himself is over the top, so I think that fits it pretty well. Now, he actually has a couple of different costumes and suits in the movie. This is just one of them. I think this is a good choice to put in figure form. However, I would love to see the version where he's wearing the suit jacket. I kind of wish they had made a variant of this figure with that, so maybe McFarlane will do it someday. Comes with the cane. Now, here's my biggest complaint. It's the lack of printing on the side of the figure. Of course, we have the question marks all over. They look great, but nothing on the side here. It actually really reminds me of Lego minifigures, especially the Lego minifigure heads, where they've got printing on the front and the back, but for some reason they can't do it on the side. So that is my one complaint, particularly on the legs. I don't think that looks very good. But other than that, I think this figure looks great. Of course, as far as accessories go, he has his question mark cane. He also has two hands, a fist and an open hand. And what is my favorite accessory would be the bat bomb that he uses in the scene where he's blowing up the Batcave. So happy that they included that. And here is his card. Great picture of him on the front. And of course, his bio on the back. And just for a fun comparison, here he is next to the classic Riddler, the jacked Riddler that McFarlane came out with a little bit ago. Quite a bit of difference there, especially in the shape of the body. I really think this body mold is obviously much more accurate to Jim Carrey and looks great. I'm trying to figure out if I've seen this body mold before. I feel like this is new. Let me know down in the comments if this is a new body mold, new body buck, or if this is a reuse of another figure. But as far as I can tell, it looks pretty new, and I think it looks great. Oh, and of course, he comes with the body of the bat part of the Build-A-Figure. And last, but certainly not least, this is the figure I've been most excited to get my hands on, Tommy Lee Jones Two-Face. I have been waiting for this figure. I've been so excited. Two-Face, as many of you know, especially if you follow my art account on Instagram, is my favorite Batman villain. I think he's incredibly underrated. Now, Tommy Lee Jones' performance, not the best. I think he was way too zany and wacky. He was trying to compete with Jim Carrey. If you know the story, he had a huge rivalry with him. Actually hated Jim Carrey. So behind the scenes, not really great there. And in the movie, not the greatest performance. But I love the look of his Two-Face. So I am so excited to open this up. And here we go, Tommy Lee Jones Two-Face out of the box. And again, while he might not be the best portrayal of Two-Face, I love the look of his suit, and I think that they nailed his look with this figure. I think this figure is incredibly accurate, especially the face sculpt. I think they went above and beyond with this figure. It just looks fantastic. This is by far my favorite figure of the line and the one that I was anticipating the most. Let's just take a look at this head. That is a beautiful head. I think it really captures Tommy Lee Jones really well, and then especially the Two-Face side of the head. I just think this is a beautiful figure. Really, really is. Now, I believe this is a reuse suit. I think he's used it a couple of times with different characters, but I think it works perfect. Of course, this hand comes with a coin. Now, it's meant to look like the coin is flipping. I think that's pretty cool. I think it would have been cool to get a regular hand that just has the coin inside of it, or he's just holding the coin. But this is pretty cool. I think that this is a good look. He does come with 2 extra hands. He comes with fist, with the leather glove, and then he just comes with an open fist, a trigger hand in case you want to buy a gun from McFarlane's weapon accessories. Of course, Warner Brothers figures can't include guns at the moment, but I'm hoping that they change that, because it'd be a lot cooler if he had that accessory. The colors on this are perfect. The suit, it's the same. It's the exact same details, the colors. Man, it's just, I love this figure. I actually got a second one for the purpose of maybe customizing it down the road. If you're interested in seeing that, let me know down in the comments and I can film that process and try to show you what I do with it. Now, I'm sorry to say, I accidentally ripped the card while opening the box, so sorry about that, but you know how it goes. It's just the same. Picture on the front, little bio on the back. And he comes with the final Build-A-Figure piece, the left wing of the bat. Now here is a look just for fun next to the Dark Knight Two-Face figure. This is the only other 7-inch Two-Face figure that McFarlane has come out with so far. McFarlane, you need to make another one. We're waiting for it. But I have these 2 figures on the side, which are actually custom Two-Face figures that I made using this body, just sculpted hair on this one, and everything else is just repaints. This one is inspired by Batman the Animated Series, and then we have one that's actually inspired by a Lego minifigure from a Batman set years ago, and I just really like the look of that. But yeah, McFarlane, we need another one. And again, just for fun, I thought I would include a look of these figures with the Batman and Robin villains, Mr. Freeze and Poison Ivy. Of course, Batman and Robin was also directed by Joel Schumacher. Man, I think these look great together. Really, really cool look. This is definitely how I will display it on my shelf. I think they go along together pretty great. And here we have the Build-A-Figure bat. This is from like the visions that Bruce Wayne had. I think in the Schumacher cut that everyone wants, that people are campaigning for DC to release. I think he's included in more scenes. What do I have to say about this? It looks great. The sculpt, the detail is great. It is very big. The inclusion of the stand is really nice, but I'm not super interested in it. I think as far as a Build-A-Figure goes, McFarlane could have done something better. I know a lot of people said Chase Meridian. Some people wanted Alfred, and of course McFarlane is now releasing the Batman Forever Batmobile with an Alfred figure. Really cool. I did not pick up the pre-order, but I am expecting McFarlane to release the Alfred figure as a platinum figure, standalone, just as he did with Catwoman and Lucius Fox from the Dark Knight movies. So I'll pick him up when he does that, but I think he could have done something different. I don't know what exactly, if it wasn't Chase or Alfred, but I think there could have been something else, something different. What am I going to do with this? Honestly, I might get rid of it. I might just list it on eBay, see what I can get for it. I saw on a Facebook group, a lot of people were saying that they were going to use it for Halloween decoration. I mean, that's a great idea, but it's as big, it's bulky, it's going to take up too much room in my display. So great Build-A-Figure as far as sculpting and detail goes and size. It is impressive to look at. but just not the most interesting to me. So overall, what do I think of the McFarlane DC Multiverse Batman Forever wave? I think mostly it's pretty good, especially Two-Face and Riddler. These are the highlights of it. I highly recommend, if you're a fan of classic movies, pick up these two figures if you're able to. Robin would be my second choice, and then honestly I'm just underwhelmed with the Val Kilmer figure and the Build-A-Figure Bat. This is a Build-A-Figure wave where I think you really don't need to collect them all unless you are a completionist. I don't think you have to pick up the Bat, truthfully, if you're not interested in that. If you have the Val Kilmer Batman from the 6-pack, you don't need to pick this one up. It's not necessary, but of course, if you weren't able to get that figure, then it is cool to get him in a cheaper method. Of course, I wish he was painted differently, wish he had the wired cape, but overall, for these two figures especially, these have to be two of my favorite McFarlane figures to date. I think they're beautiful, I think they're awesome, and if you can pick them up, I highly recommend that you do so. Thank you for watching, guys. If you'd like to see more reviews of McFarlane figures, please let me know down in the comments. I would love to do so if you're interested. Hope you have an amazing day, and I'll see you next time.